Alright, let's start understanding the concepts of ionic equilibrium. So, in this chapter, we will deal with ions and the equilibrium related to ions in aqueous solution. So, before we start, let's understand the objectives of this chapter because that will help us understand what are the concepts we need to learn in this chapter. So, let's proceed. We will first learn differences between strong and weak electrolytes. So, what are strong electrolytes and what are weak electrolytes? Then we will focus on the degree of dissociation. Okay, degree of dissociation of a weak electrolyte, and we will also see how this dissociation, degree of dissociation, is correlated with the dissociation constant. Okay, so I can also say and dissociation constant. Now, the third thing we will understand is various concepts related to acids and bases. So we will understand concepts forwarded by Bronsted, Lorry, and before that we will also understand Arrhenius concept and then the Lewis concept. So there are three concepts: Arrhenius, Bronsted, Lowry, and Lewis. We will understand these three concepts and how they are similar to an extent in identifying whether a substance is an acid or a base. Then we will understand conjugate acid base pairs. Okay, so what are conjugate acid base pairs? And we will identify them in an acid base equilibrium. Then we will try to see the expression for ionization constant of weak acids and weak bases. Okay, ionization constant for weak acids and bases. Okay, and we will also see how it is related with strength and strength of acid and bases. So there is a correlation rather, how it is correlated with ionization constant. Then we will also understand self-ionization of water. Okay, self-ionization of water, and we will see what is the expression for its ionic product. So ionic product of water. They are not difficult. They may look scary right now, but as we go and understand each and every concept, we will be able to enjoy the learning. So finally, we will define what is pH value. We are here often called pH when it comes to acids and bases, and we will see how pH value tells us whether a solution is neutral or acidic or basic. Okay, so these are not very strong or hard concepts. Okay, so don't worry. And there are some other concepts also as part of this topic. We will see what they are before we explain and understand each of them in detail. So one is we will know what is common ion effect, okay, and how it is able to explain ionization of weak acids and bases. And then we understand what is meant by buffer solution, and then we have hydrolysis of salt. Then we understand and express solubility equilibrium. Solubility equilibrium, and we will understand it with the help of an equation. Then, and the relationship between solubility and solubility product. So, solubility and solubility product. We will understand applications of common ion effect. So, common ion effect and its effect on solubility equilibrium, and also some applications of this common ion effect. So, these are the topics we will be covering in this chapter. Okay, so let's proceed.